Welcome, fellow travelers, to episode 2 of Pathways Through Romans. Today, we begin our exploration of Paul's letter to the Romans, focusing on the verses 8 through 17 of chapter 1. Prepare to delve into the heart of Paul's message, uncovering the rich theological foundations he lays for understanding faith, fellowship, and growth. Let's begin.
Ever feel like you could be getting more out of your relationships? Especially, the spiritual ones.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's a kind of blueprint for deeper connections, maybe a more vibrant faith, hidden in plain sight?
That's a great question. And it's pretty much what we're tackling today, isn't it? We're digging into some ancient wisdom, really, to see what it offers you today.
Exactly. For this deep dive, we're looking at the Apostle Paul's letter to the Romans,
Sure.
specifically chapter 1, verses 8 through 17.
Right. And we've got the text itself, obviously, but also some commentary to help us, unpack it.
Yeah, unpack the significance for now. Our mission, really, is to pull out those key ideas about faith, fellowship, the gospel.
And how it all connects.
Right. Give you some shortcuts to maybe some profound insights for your own growth, your connections.
Okay, let's get into it. Verse 8.
So verse 8, Paul kicks off with gratitude.
Yeah, he's thankful for the Roman believers, and specifically because their faith is like being talked about everywhere.
Right. That's quite a thing, isn't it? A reputation like that.
It really is. And the commentary we looked at, it makes the point like, well, isn't that something any faith community should kind of aim for? That kind of positive buzz.
It definitely makes you think, what's the secret sauce there? How does a community actually build that kind of strong, talked about faith? Thinking about your own circles, maybe? What steps could lead to that kind of impact?
That's a good practical question. And it leads kind of naturally into verse 9.
Okay.
Where Paul says he serves God with my spirit in the gospel of his son.
With my spirit.
Yeah.
What does the commentary say about that?
Well, it really zeroes in on that phrase, serving in spirit, contrasting it with, just doing stuff outwardly.
Yeah.
Maybe for show or for personal gain, that kind of thing.
Right. Not just the actions, but the source of the action.
Exactly. And the commentary actually brings in Jesus talking to the Samaritan woman.
Oh, yeah.
About worshiping in spirit and truth. It's that shift from just like external rituals to genuine inner connection.
So for you listening, it kind of prompts the question, doesn't it?
Sure.
When you're doing things in your faith or community, what's the real driver?
Precisely. Is it, genuinely from the spirit? Or are there other things mixed in? What does serving in spirit actually look like?
Good question.
Yeah.
Then verse 10, Paul talks about praying constantly.
Yeah, praying for a chance to actually visit them in Rome.
The commentary highlights this, right?
Yeah.
Like fellowship wasn't just a nice idea for Paul. It was a specific prayer request, a wish list item.
Totally. And it makes you pause and think, well, how often do we actively pray for that?
Yeah.
Prioritize deep connection with others in that way.
Or is it more of an afterthought sometimes?
Yeah, exactly. Is building fellowship seen as like essential spiritual work, something we actively seek?
Okay, so verses 11 and 12 then sort of explain the why behind that longing, yeah.
Right. It's about mutual benefit. He wants to impart some spiritual gift, help strengthen them, but also be encouraged himself by their faith. It's a two-way street.
That mutuality seems key. True connection isn't just one person lecturing another.
Definitely not. The commentary really hammers this point. True fellowship, everyone gains something, everyone contributes something.
And it mentions Paul's humility too, right? I mean, he's an apostle, a big deal.
Yeah, but he still says he wants encouragement from them. That's pretty striking. Just his own need.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. Doesn't matter who you are, you can always learn, always be boosted by others. So for you, it points to that potential, doesn't it? Both giving and receiving in your own networks.
So moving to verse 13, Paul mentions he'd planned to visit Rome many times before.
Right, but got hindered somehow.
Yeah, and he talks about wanting to have some harvest among them, just like he had elsewhere. But the commentary points out something interesting here.
What's that?
That Paul seems to recognize each community yields its own unique fruit, its own specific kind of impact or harvest.
Okay. So it's not like comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, exactly. The commentary stresses valuing the unique contribution of each group. Don't expect Rome to be exactly like Corinth or Philippi.
Like different instruments in an orchestra, maybe. Each one has its own sound, its own part to play.
That's a great analogy. And For you, the listener, it encourages appreciating what's distinct and valuable in your communities. Don't force them into the same mold.
Right. Okay, then verses 14 and 15,
Yeah.
Paul widens the lens.
Yeah, he talks about his obligation to everyone. Greeks, barbarians, wise, foolish.
That's quite a broad statement. How does the commentary interpret that?
It sees it as Paul basically saying everyone has inherent value, regardless of their culture, education, background. He felt this personal responsibility to share the gospel with all of them, no exceptions.
That really makes you check your own perspective, doesn't it? Do we instinctively see that value in everyone we meet? Or do we sometimes, maybe subconsciously, categorize people? Do we see the spiritual need in people who seem, I don't know, really different from us?
It's a powerful challenge about inclusivity, really. And then that leads right into verse 16, which is pretty famous.
Yeah, the big declaration. For I am not ashamed of the gospel.
For it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. Boom.
Such a strong statement of conviction.
Yeah.
And the commentary asks a really sharp question here, doesn't it?
It does. It asks, essentially, do our lives match that statement? Do our actions day to day, at work, wherever, do they show we're not ashamed?
Even when it's hard or unpopular.
Right. Is it just something we say, or does it actually shape how we operate in the world?
It's about living out that conviction, having the courage maybe.
Yeah, the courage to stand firm, even if it feels vulnerable or goes against the flow.
Okay, so finally verse 17, another foundational line.
The righteous shall live by faith. Huge.
And the commentary gives this interesting perspective on faith itself, right? That it's not just static.
Exactly. It suggests faith isn't just a one-time decision, but more like a journey with different levels, different stages of growth.
Stages. Like what?
Well, it outlines a kind of progression that the whole book of Romans apparently explores. Initial salvation, then ongoing sanctification, consecration, fellowship, even getting into spiritual warfare later on.
Wow. Okay, so it's a much bigger picture than just saying, I believe.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's about deepening faith, expanding experience, not just staying at the starting line.
And the commentary actually puts the question directly to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it asks point blank, where is your faith level?
Oof, that's direct.
It is. It's meant to make you think, you know? Assess where you are on that journey. Are you actually growing beyond the basics?
It's a call to self-reflection, for sure. A reminder that growth is ongoing.
Exactly. Not a destination, but a process.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, a few things really stand out to me. We saw how that genuine spirit-led faith creates a powerful testimony, right?
Yeah, the foundation.
Then the importance of that two-way street in fellowship. Mutual encouragement fueling growth.
Vital. Can't be just one way.
And this idea that faith isn't static. It's a journey with different levels, different experiences possible.
Those three seem tightly connected, don't they? Faith, fellowship, growth, all feeding into each other.
Definitely offers a kind of framework for thinking about your own spiritual life and maybe your community's health too.
So maybe a final thought to leave with you.
Yeah.
Consider this. How intentional are you, really, about cultivating that mutual encouragement in your key relationships?
Good question. Am I actively looking for ways to both give and receive support?
Right. Could being more deliberate about that actually unlock maybe a whole new level of growth, not just for you, but for everyone you're connected with?
Something to chew on, for sure. How seeking that mutuality might ripple outwards.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through Romans. We truly appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more verse-by-verse explorations of this incredible book. We have so much more to uncover together. Get ready for new episodes, diving deeper into the heart of Romans. We can't wait to share these insights with you.